Brandin Cooks is a guy that we picked up this offseason who started off slow to begin the season, but has been gaining steam as we enter into our playoff run. You have to give credit to guys like Mike McCarthy for making the proper adjustments during the bye week to not only get him more involved, but Jake Ferguson, as well as getting Dak Prescott more comfortable in his Texas Coast offense. So when you're taking a look at a guy like Brandin Cooks, we know that these teams, they like to run a lot of cover three. They like to run a lot of cover one. And with our type of offense, the good thing about Dak Prescott, he understands that. And with Mike McCarthy, these guys, they love to run scissors routes. And what it does is it stresses out that safety because that safety has to make a decision, as well as the corner that is guarding CeeDee Lamb. But when you have a guy like Brandin Cooks who understands coverages and know what these guys are trying to do on a defense, it's great to have players with a high IQ like this, as well as Dak Prescott having the ability to be able to throw the ball in tight windows. So we'll go ahead and run it. As you can see, they begin to run the scissors route. And keying on Brandin Cooks, he's rubbing at the hashes, looking at CeeDee Lamb, that cornerback. He's forced to make a decision, as well as that safety. But the good thing is Dak Prescott knows that. And usually when you're running scissors routes, that is a staple for a cover three beater. It's a staple for a cover one beater. And being able to have a quarterback like Dak Prescott to be able to throw a dime like that is great to be able to see it, because that one safety deep with the middle field closed, he's forced to make a decision. And usually these guys aren't athletic enough to be able to make a play on the ball. When you're running scissors routes and you're forcing these guys to make a decision, sometimes you can be able to go out there and make a big time play. Plays like this is what keeps the whole offense open, being able to run the ball, running quick corner routes like that to be able to stress out defenses. If you're running plays like this consistently throughout games, this is how you can be able to take that next step. Brandin Cooks is one of the most explosive players in the NFL inside of the slot position. And being off the line of scrimmage, going up against these safeties and these third corners, they do not have the athletic ability to keep up with him, because his acceleration on top of his routes is still one of the tops in this league. So on this play here, CeeDee Lamb is going to be running a deep hitch type of route, and then you're going to have the tight end. He's going to be running a crosser route. But just seeing what guys like Brandin Cooks was able to do against this corner, just being able to get inside leverage and knowing how to separate at the top of his route, this is what you need when we get to this playoff stretch. And this is why this guy has been one of the most dangerous weapons in this league. So we'll go ahead and run it. As you can see, he gets inside leverage. And usually these corners, if you're giving these guys inside leverage, you got to be a speedy guy, because you got to be able to break onto the ball. But just seeing guys like Brandin Cooks being able to just get to the top of his route and just cut just like that. And usually whenever you can be able to cut hard on top of your routes, it'll shock the defender. Just looking at the defender here, you can tell by his body, he was so shocked because he knows that he's not athletic enough either to be able to recover, to be able to get to Brandin Cooks in time. And just look at the separation that this guy had against both of these guys. That's a thing of beauty, guys. You love to be able to see things like this. We'll run it in real time so you guys can be able to see it. Having a guy that be able to have the athletic ability to be able to create separation and have that flash type of speed, this is the kind of things that you need for Mike McCarthy and this offense, just so these defenses can think twice. Because when you can be able to do that, this is how we're going to be able to get to where we want to go when the lights get bright, Cowboys Nation. So on this play here, Jalen Tolbert and Jake Ferguson, they're going to be running whip routes. And the good thing about whip routes is it's designed to make it look like the wide receiver is running an in breaking route. It's great to be able to see things like this. Keying in on guys like Brandin Cooks, he's going to be running that corner route. And these guys are going to be going up man to man. And this is the type of play design that is a true man beater. So this was a great play by Mike McCarthy. And seeing the separation that Brandin Cooks was able to get and going over there and get that corner route and get the touchdown, it was great to see. So we go ahead and run it. So these guys are running the whip routes and just seeing the defenders. I mean, they're going man to man against their guy. Dak Prescott knows, I mean, he throws the ball so quickly. And a lot of these guys are open. I mean, these guys can be able to get the ball. But the thing is, when you got a guy like Brandin Cooks and you see that safety over the top and just being able to just get leverage over his guy, and Dak Prescott just throwing the ball on a dime. And this play was a very, very important part of the game. It's good to see guys like Brandin Cooks being able to catch the ball at clutch moments. This was not the only time that he did this. He did this against Miami. He did this against the Chargers. And we're going to need this guy in the most important games. And if he can continue to do this at these big time moments, it's just going to be that much more better for the offense as a whole. So on this final play here, it's another one of those big time plays with Brandin Cooks being in the slot. And you got CeeDee Lamb. He's going to be running a deep hitch, as well as that outside receiver. He's going to be running a deep hitch as well. And throughout this game, they were blitzing a lot. The defensive linemen, they're going to be sending 4, and they're going to be sending that linebacker as well. But Dak Prescott, he is very, very efficient when people are blitzing against him. And when you see guys like Jake Ferguson, he's going to be running that crosser over the field. But just being able to lock in on guys like Brandin Cooks and being able to get either inside leverage or outside leverage, being able to get slippery and force these defenders to overthink, it is big time. So we'll go ahead and run it. He's getting off the ball. So he got outside leverage. You can just tell by his speed. I mean, this guy's just running straight, and just seeing the separation that this guy got on the play, and Dak Prescott just being able to just key in on that and just drop a dime. I love to be able to see these type of plays right here. It's been a while since we had a wide receiver to be able to stretch the defense. So it's good to be able to see these type of plays. It's just wild to me to see these teams. They got to go one-on-one against these wide receivers, because you can't just roll coverage to guys like CeeDee Lamb all game. Being able to gain separation and having that 4-3 type of speed, this is how Tony Pollard can get going, because these teams, they're going to be having 2 safeties deep with the middle field open. They have to respect guys like CeeDee Lamb. So when you're seeing a guy like Brandin Cooks, we know that he's an older player, but he has that confidence. He's good on and off the field. And if the Dallas Cowboys are going to take that next step, Dak Prescott knows he's going to have to utilize him, Jake Ferguson, Tony Pollard, all of these playmakers on the offense, because we're going to be going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to be going up against the 49ers. So just having these guys going out there and making plays, and what Brandin Cooks can be able to do for this offense, it didn't start off good for him for the first few games, but with Mike McCarthy being able to adjust after the bye, getting Jake Ferguson more involved, Brandin Cooks more involved, if we can be able to continue to keep doing this, I think that we're going to be on to something for this playoff run, Cowboys Nation. It's about to be a good one. So make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because the way the YouTube algorithm works, if you don't hit it, you'll miss on fire live streams and unique breakdowns. All right, Cowboys Nation. Talk to y'all soon. Gone.